Welcome to my near-death experience video number 5. I'm going to try to cover the topic of what did God tell me in this video. It's a lot of information. I made notes. I'm going to try to explain it the best way I can. I'm sorry if sometimes I go out of order or it sounds random, but it was just an amazing experience. When God spoke to me, I was in an empty space realm. So it was like a dark universe around me and just a God type being there and myself. Now, I had been unplugged from Earth. It was made known to me that Earth was totally fake. It was not real at all. It was very shocking. If you've ever seen the movie series The Matrix, it was like being unplugged from The Matrix. I saw that certain things in this life were orchestrated. They were orchestrated events. That I had what I call God's brain for a few seconds, which was just mind-blowing. I understood how God could know everything that was happening. It was like a computer program, and this God-type person was the most intelligent being I could ever imagine. I hate to say this, but perhaps they were even one of us, just extremely more advanced. They were the creator of this matrix. So I'm not necessarily saying that this was the God that people think is, and I don't want to get into religion here because this really isn't even about religion, because I have a positive message that can benefit everyone. So let's just try to leave religion out of this. But this was the creator of this matrix, the creator of this earth. And we can all generally agree that the universe is huge. There's tons of planets out there. So there might be other planets with other creators, and then there could be a God over all that. So just go with me here, okay? Let's not get bogged down in the religion of it. So the creator of this matrix is literally a computer genius. That's how I saw this person. And then this also gets into divine architecture, sacred geometry, numerology, etc. Everything good fits into this universe. There's not just one thing that explains everything, and all concepts can have some truth to them. Everything can fit together. Astrology, these different theories and concepts can all fit together. Science and religion can go together. If you have an expanded mind, you can see how it can all fit together. God basically showed me how things are connected, and because a drop of God is inside all of us, which is also could be considered our consciousness, how does God know everything? We all are a part of God. Seeing nature's web was like seeing minute details happening and all being connected. Sort of like the butterfly effect. I've never even seen that, but I'm pretty sure it's about a butterfly can flap its wings somewhere in the world and it causes a bit of wind to change direction, and then it can eventually lead up to causing a hurricane on the other side of the world. So I saw stuff like that happening. I had the software's mind for a few moments. I saw millions of chain reactions, etc. That's the software, the computer program of how this Earth and the Matrix holds itself together. But this Earth is really totally fake. It's like a hologram. And when we're in it, we think it's real. But when you're unplugged from it, it's just shocking. It's so fake. And the light beings really instilled in me that kindness and love is the most important thing. And then the God type being, or the creator, gave me more wisdom and knowledge on how we can make Earth better and how we can live up to more of our full potential. Basically, all is possible, meaning that we are that smart. We can figure things out if we focus our minds in the right direction. We have control over everything except the will of others. And I think I've talked about that before. So things in this physical realm we can control and manipulate, but we do not have control over the will of others, because everyone is a part of God and we are all co-creators on this planet. I wrote down God is consciousness. So part of what God, I think, wanted me to share with people, and this is not saying that we are God, that I'm not trying to say we're above anything or getting all high and mighty or anything, but I think a lot of people don't realize the power that we do have. So I'm not trying to tell people to take over or that we're God and we're cool or anything like that at all. I'm just trying to say that we have to realize that we are a part of God. So I'm really speaking to people that feel like they're powerless, good people, to say we do have the power to bring about good on this planet. So please don't take anything I say the wrong way. Okay, God told me and showed me, I was shown, that we don't use near all of the power of our brains or bodies. We could all live forever in these bodies and heal ourselves and feel vibrant and healthy forever in these bodies if we chose to. We can even change our current DNA. God created our bodies that perfect. They are truly a divine creation, and I think God wants to see us get more out of them. Okay, then I tried to make an analogy here that imagine if you had an amazing sports car, but you just let it sit in your garage all the time. Maybe you took it to the grocery store a few times, but you never took the sports car out to drive it fast or drive it around some great beautiful roads and see some scenery. Basically, it was a machine that was being limited, and our bodies are capable of just unbelievable things. I think we sort of know that when we see in the Olympics every year, athletes are constantly breaking records. Now, some of that might be due to drugs, unfortunately, but as long as we keep pushing the bodies, they're capable of more and more amazing things. Not just, and I'm more not concerned with physical performance, but the ability to heal ourselves and the ability to heal others through our brains, our mind power. And we all know that we don't use near all of our brains, and God really reinforced that to me and just showed me a multitude of things we can do. It's through the power of thinking. And this is something new that I'm just starting to really apply to my own life. And I will keep updating people as I find out more specific examples of this. But I have had some certain illnesses and health problems that I've been working on myself with very promising results, and also working on healing others from certain illnesses and debilitating physical problems, and I am having some success. We have to become more in touch with our own bodies. We have to, we still can rely on doctors and consult with doctors and go to doctors for help with things, because of course many of them are experts and wonderful people, but a lot of people have lost touch with their own bodies. They just say, hey, here I am at the doctor's office, figure out what's wrong with me. But we have the ability to figure out what's wrong with ourselves, because we were given a brain with logic, and We're also, some people don't know this, but I'm highly familiar with the scientific method. And God knew this about me, and God said, it's awesome that I do that. Because God gave us these brains to heal ourselves, not only through just the power of belief and a sort of magical, mystical healing abilities that I'm starting to work with, but also just straightforward logic and the scientific method by monitoring your symptoms and what's wrong with you, and then isolating different variables and see what has a cause and effect. I'm gonna probably write down the scientific method and share it later because it's a wonderful thing. Okay, so that leads me to my next note. We must believe. When all else fails, and perhaps logically you can't figure something out, you just have to believe in the good, believe in the power, believe that God is on your side, and that God wants us to be healed. God wants us to reach our full potential. And believe in the power of the good universe to fulfill your creations. You really have to believe in it, and you can't get discouraged. And then once you finally see these good things happening, you'll go from believing to a knowing. When you know that you have this good force behind you, then you can really start seeing the miracles happen. And I just want to start an avalanche of miracles because I know I was shown, God showed me pictures, real pictures of a utopia on earth and everyone loving everyone, and it was like heaven on earth. And so I've seen it, I've seen how wonderful it is, and I want to try to help us get there. Okay, now here's the big question that I wanted to ask God, and since I knew I was removed from earth and I knew I was having a very profound spiritual experience, I knew I was having a near-death experience, and by this time I kind of had my wits about me, and I don't even know how I did, but I was able to ask the question, but God already knew my question. And I had dared to ask God this question, and my main question was, why does God let bad things happen to good people? The sense of right and wrong was so strong within me. This is before my near-death experience. I actually rebuked God. I didn't want to follow a God that allowed the atrocities of the world, such as murder, rape, torture, kind people getting debilitating diseases, children getting cancer, female genital mutilation, just forced cannibalism, just so many truly awful things. And just a bunch of really sick cases of just awful things that I'm aware of and that really don't need to exist at all. So I asked God this question. And how did God answer the question? Well, God looked me right in the eyes with the third eye or whatever it was and said, if there's something you don't like on this earth, what are you doing to change it? ? And it was just like, wham. A big light went off in my head because God had me there. God was letting me know that I have a lot of power to help the world be a better place. And it's up to me to be the change that I want to see in the world. Why should I be lazy and just expect God to do all the work? Earth is Earth, a place of limitations and a learning ground, a small blip and infinity. So nothing here really matters. But while I am here, God said, okay, Rosie, if you don't like something, then just go and change it. Because you have the power to do that, because I gave you the power to do that. Some of the things that I mentioned, I don't even know how to fix them. I don't know how to stop certain tortures in other countries. I don't know how to, find or stop the sex slave trade here with, children. But you don't have to know how. All you have to know is that you want to stop it and believe that you can, and know that God is behind you and God will help you. Ask and you shall receive. If you have a question for God or you don't understand something, just ask. It's okay. God wants us to ask, because that's being honest. God knows if you doubt anyways. God knows what's in your mind. So it's like, okay, God, I'm being honest with you. Here I am. This is me. I wasn't afraid because I knew right from wrong, and that's it. I didn't care if I would be damned to hell forever, because I'm sorry, bad things happening to good people is just wrong when there's no reason for it. Now, of course, there could be a reason for some suffering, and that we're supposed to experience it as part of our eternal existence and growth within infinity, etc. God told me point blank through mental communication, word for word. This is what God told me. Quote, if everyone loved everyone, there would be utopia on this earth. Yes, it is a 100% fact. We have everything we need. We have all of the resources, all of the natural resources we need. Our brains can fix anything. Imagine if there was no war, how much money could go into discovering the cure for everything. The cures are also in the plants of the world. Plants have much to offer us, and we have been abusing them as well. I don't know if you've seen Cowspiracy or not, but animal agriculture is another thing that's another atrocity of how animals are being treated and so forth, and it's also unhealthy for us, so we've got work to do in many areas. But after my near-death experience, I feel empowered to be able to make a difference, and I want all of you to feel empowered too, because we can make a difference. This is a message of hope. This is a message of motivation, because even though things might seem like an uphill battle, and it's like, how in the heck are we gonna fix these things? I was shown that it's 100% possible. Our brains, we're not using but a barely tiny little smidgen of our brains. Our brains are supercomputers as well, and we've got to unlock them. And I've just started unlocking my own brain. And if you don't know how, ask. Just say, hey, God, I want to use my brain. Can you show me how? I want to evolve. I want to step up. I want to do great things. I want to help the world. Like, it's actually even easier for me to believe that my brain can cure my body or change my DNA or heal someone else. It's actually more believable for me now that our brains can do that than for what, like, a cell phone does. I'm telling you, God showed me how amazing our brains are, and we've got to start using them, because a lot of what's happening in society is people are relying less and less on themselves, and they're sort of getting dumber, and that's really disturbing, because we need to be becoming more self-sufficient, getting healthier, so that we can help the world, so that we can all reach our full potential, because we're a wonderful creation and God wants to see us reach our full potential. Again, I'm just saying my experience as best as I can without offending anyone. Okay. Detoxing our minds, our brain and bodies, to be able to reach the full potential God gave us with these miraculous machines here on earth. And that's a lot of eating properly and drinking pure water and all kinds of other stuff that I'm going to get into, of how to detoxify yourself. Everyone is special to God. That's true. Life is not perfect on earth, but that is how it's supposed to be. If you want it to be different, go change it. I have given you that power. No one suffers forever. Everyone will experience many, many things, good and bad. Earth is just one tiny little experience. But everything still is important if we consider living in the now, which, what time is it? It's always right now. I know for a fact we can live in these bodies healthy, vibrant, feeling great forever. But then the question is going to be, do we want to stay in these bodies forever, or do we want to experience something else? So, you see, such is the nature of existence, of constant change, constant creation. Creation and constant change is existence, and that's just the way it is, and it's wonderful. And there you have it. The answers to the question, what did God tell me? I'm sure that as I investigate more myself, I will have more examples of how we can use our brains to achieve amazing and unprecedented things. Have you experienced any type of ways that you're able to use your brain more than what is commonly known? I'd like to know, and maybe we can share these things to help start learning exactly what is the true power of our minds, how can we unlock it, and how can we use that brain power to make the world a better place.